Hey, welcome, it's Cassie. I have a cute little baked chocolate egg tutorial for you today. And the thing that I used for this was this little egg container that I got at Dollar Tree. But if you don't have one of these, you could use any of the other little plastic eggs that they have that open, or even a styrofoam egg would work as well. We're going to coat this with a caulk mixture to make it look like chocolate. So I have a container here and I'm going to put some caulk in. And if you're using a bigger egg like I have, you're going to want to make quite a lot of the mixture. So I'm going to actually fill this container completely to the top. So I'm filling it that full with caulk. And then I'm using melted chocolate as my color. I want it to look like milk chocolate. You could also use burnt umber, which will make it a little bit darker chocolate. And then I'm using the gloss Mod Podge. I'm putting quite a lot of the Mod Podge because I want this to be kind of thinnish, not super thin, but thin enough that I can spread it around on my egg. So just mix this up really well. Okay, so now that that's really well mixed, I'm going to put it on my egg. So I'm going to take 1/2 of the egg and I'm just going to dump some on the top. And then I'm going to spread it around. Now you don't want this to be super thick, just so it has a nice coating on there. Oh, and I forgot, this is the part of the egg that goes over, like snaps over the other one. So the other one we're going to have to tape off that area there before we put the chocolate on so that we can still snap it back together. And then I'm going to go back in and just try to smooth it out as much as possible. And then I just get that last little part where I had my finger. For this one, I'm going to use some painter's tape and go around this edge so that I don't get caulk all over it. Now I'm going to kind of press the tape in so that I can sit this flat after I get it all coated. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing with this half. Okay, so once those are coated, you're going to want to let those dry for probably overnight. Even if it's dry to the touch, it'll still be squishy underneath. So I'm going to set these aside, and I have some that I already painted for us to decorate. Okay, so I have this one already painted. Now, I did notice it has some weird lines in it, and that's okay because I'm going to put decorations over that anyway, so it won't show. But I think this happened because I tried to do this one with white chocolate and I ended up having to wipe it all off. It was like too thick, and I don't know, the mixture just did not turn out right. So before we get started decorating this, I just wanted to show you this does in fact pop back together. So, you know, You can display it like that, or you can put something in here and gift it to someone. For mine, I'm going to decorate it with some spackle and also probably some fake sprinkles. So this is the spackling that I like, Fast and Final by DAP, and it's a really nice white color now. It used to be kind of gray, but they've changed the formula, I think. So I have most of my colors mixed up, but I'm going to mix this purple with you. I think I'm going to do purple and white flowers, hopefully, on this one. And then put the fake sprinkles. So I'm going to mix up a little purple here. So I'm just putting some of the spackling in. And then I'm going to use Velvet Crush, but I'm just going to put a little bit in because I want it to be pastel. This color is kind of a brighter color, but I find the pastel ones look a little too muted in the spackle. It doesn't get bright enough, vibrant enough. So I'm just going to put a little in and then mix that around really good. And then I feel like this is a pretty good consistency. If you feel like it's too dry, like it doesn't look like buttercream frosting, then you would just add a 1/4 teaspoon of water at a time until you get it to the right consistency. And I just use a little measuring 1/4 teaspoon measuring spoon to measure the water out, just to make sure it doesn't get too liquidy. Okay, so we have that one all ready to go. And I'm going to go ahead and just put that in my bag. So I have a piping bag here, and I'm going to choose a tip. Now, these tips that I have here are like smaller size tips, and they're perfect for this. If you only have bigger ones, you can just do bigger flowers or whatever design you're going to do on your egg. So I'm going to use this tip. These have numbers on them, but they're not like the normal numbers. So this one says KO2, and all the ones in that set have K numbers. So I'm not sure what this would be normally. I'm going to attempt to pipe some flowers on this, but I'm not excellent at piping, so we'll see how it goes. So I just cut the tip off of my bag so that the end of the piping tip can come through. And then I'm just going to fold back the top of the piping bag, and I'm going to use my hand to make like a cup so that I can fill it. This works well with these bags that I have, but some bags don't do this as well. If you need to, you could do this over glass, and it'll make it easier to fill. And then I'm just going to push it down, and I'm going to set this one aside and get my other colors ready as well. Before I get my colors all ready, I wanted to show you the tips that I'm going to use. So I'm going to use this for the center of my flowers. It's just a small circle, and then the one I showed you for the purple, and then I have this one that makes kind of like a little leaf shape. So it has like a big V over here, and then it just has like a little V on each side, and it kind of makes like a little leaf looking shape. And then for the I'm also going to use white, and I'm going to use this tip for the white. Okay, so I have all my spackle ready to go. I think what I'm going to do on this one is put some of these sprinkles around the edge of the bottom half. So I'm going to use some Mod Podge and just sprinkle some of those around. And I may fill in with another one too, I'm not sure. We'll see how this looks. So I'm just going to brush a line, and I'm going to be careful not to go over this part that where the lid's going to snap onto. Just make sure none of them are sticking up over that edge, or else you won't be able to close the egg. Okay, so I'm going to put that part aside to dry, and then we'll get going on the spackle. So that's what I'm going to do on the top part here. Now, if you wanted to pipe your flowers separately and then just glue them on after they dry, you could do that as well. So I'm going to do some bigger flowers on this one, and I have another one I decorated. I'll show you that I did some small, not so fantastic flowers. So I'm just going to try to make some petals here, like I have the wider end of the piping tip at the top and the narrow end at the bottom. I am no professional at this. I just am trying to do my best and tell you what I'm doing in case you want to try yourself. Okay, so there's one flower. And then I'll put another one like that down here. Okay, now I'm going to attempt a rose with the white, and we'll see how it goes. I haven't had much luck with this. Okay, so that's the center, and then I need some leaves, petals, not leaves, petals. Oh man, I messed it up. Okay, well that's not so hot. And then I'm gonna flip this over and try to do some white flowers similar to the purple ones. so now I'm going to make little leaves. So I have this tip with the V, the larger V is going to be facing side to side. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Now I just need to put the centers on the flowers. I'm going to press down a little bit where it's kind of poofy there so that the center isn't sticking up too much. So there's that. I kind of wish I didn't do the rose. I think it would have looked better with just all those flowers, but it is what it is. That rose is not my finest piece of work. This is one that I made just to try it out, and I just used like a star tip and just piped the flowers that way, which they look okay. They're not spectacular, but they're okay. It was my first attempt, and these leaves I used a different tip and it didn't work as well as the one I just used. So so you can see the lid goes right back on, and so there are the two little eggs. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for crafting with me today. I have had so much fun making these little eggs with you. Be sure to check out all of my other Easter videos as well. I'll have some of those linked in the end cards for you.